Have you ever felt stuck by a problem so big that it seems like it's holding you back from your dreams? What if I told you those very obstacles you fear are actually the stepping stones to your greatest opportunities? Today, we're going to uncover how to transform the walls that seem to block you into doorways that propel you forward. Good day, my friends. It is said that the greatest tragedy in life is not failure, but failure to discover the purpose behind your challenges. Every obstacle you face is not a dead end. It is a divine appointment with destiny. The world is full of people who see problems and quit. But leaders, true leaders, see problems and say, this is my opportunity to rise. Today we're going to explore how to turn obstacles into opportunities, because your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your struggle. I want you to understand this from the very beginning. Obstacles are a part of life. You cannot live in this world and avoid them. No one is exempt. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, rich or poor, educated or not. Obstacles will come your way. The question is not if you will face them, but when and how you will respond when they do. Obstacles are not a sign that you're failing or that you are being punished. They are a natural part of the process of growth. You see, life has seasons. Sometimes it's smooth sailing, but other times you will face storms, difficulties, and blockages. This is inevitable. It's how life works. Now, here's the thing. When an obstacle appears, it often feels like a mountain in front of you, an immovable force blocking your progress. And many people react by stopping, by quitting, by giving up hope. They see the obstacle as a dead end. But that is the very moment that determines your future. Will you let the obstacle defeat you? Or will you see it for what it truly is? A challenge to overcome, a test to pass, a stepping stone to climb. I want to be clear. The obstacle itself is not the enemy. The enemy is your mindset about the obstacle. If you believe the obstacle is too big, too powerful, too overwhelming, then it will be. Because your mind shapes your reality. If you see the obstacle as impossible, your actions will reflect that belief, and you will likely fail. But if you see the obstacle as temporary and solvable, your actions will align with hope, creativity, and determination. Think about the great leaders and successful people throughout history. Did they reach their success without facing obstacles? Absolutely not. In fact, many of them faced tremendous challenges, rejection, and hardship. What set them apart was their refusal to be stopped by those obstacles. They understood something fundamental. Obstacles are inevitable, but they are not insurmountable. When you face an obstacle, remember that it is not a wall built to imprison you, but a gate built to test your will and prepare you for greater things. Obstacles come into your life, not to crush you, but to teach you something vital. They refine your character, develop your patience, and stretch your faith. Now, I want you to think about a river flowing down a mountain. Sometimes the river will encounter rocks, fallen trees, or steep drops. Does the river stop? No, it finds a way around, over, or through those obstacles. Sometimes the river's flow may slow down or change direction temporarily, but it never stops moving forward. It keeps pressing on until it reaches the ocean. Your life is like that river. Obstacles will appear, but you have to keep flowing forward. Don't get stuck on the rock. Don't waste your energy fighting the fallen tree. Find a way to move around it. Sometimes obstacles require you to slow down and reassess your path. Other times, they require you to climb higher or dig deeper. But the key is this: keep moving forward. I want to ask you, what's the obstacle that feels like it's stopping you right now? Is it financial difficulty, a broken relationship, a health issue, a dream that seems impossible? Whatever it is, don't let it define you. Don't let it convince you that your story is over. Obstacles are a test of your resolve. They are the proving ground for your destiny. When you overcome obstacles, you don't just get past a problem. You become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's next. That's why no obstacle can ever truly stop you if you refuse to give up. Now, let me share with you something important. Sometimes the obstacle is placed in your life to redirect you. It's not always about breaking through the barrier straight ahead. Sometimes the obstacle forces you to take a new path, a better path, a path you never considered before. That's part of the wisdom you gain by facing obstacles. They reveal hidden opportunities and open doors you never knew existed. But this only happens if you refuse to let the obstacle defeat you. If you surrender to it, if you become bitter or discouraged, you will miss the opportunity to grow and discover new possibilities. I want you to listen carefully. Your breakthrough is on the other side of your obstacle. But you have to understand that breakthrough is not about avoiding obstacles. It's about embracing the challenge, learning the lesson, and then moving beyond it. Remember, even the tallest mountain can be climbed one step at a time. No obstacle is too great when you take it step by step, day by day, moment by moment. So the truth is this: obstacles are inevitable. They will come, but they are not insurmountable. You have everything you need inside of you to overcome them. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience. It's all there. You must only believe it and act on it. And I want you to commit to this truth. Today, no obstacle will stop you from reaching your destiny unless you allow it to. The power is in your hands to turn your obstacles into stepping stones. That power begins with your mindset, your faith, and your decision to keep moving forward no matter what. Now that we understand obstacles are inevitable, let me take you deeper into the very core of transformation, the mindset shift. This is where many people get stuck, where they remain trapped by their problems instead of stepping into their purpose. It all begins with how you see your difficulty. You see, your perception shapes your reality. The way you view your obstacle will determine how you respond to it and what you eventually receive from it. This is not just philosophy. This is spiritual and practical truth. Your mind is like a lens, and what you focus on is what you will experience. If you focus on the obstacle as a barrier, you will be stopped. But if you focus on the obstacle as an opportunity, then a new world of possibilities opens before you. Now, I want you to think about this. What if every difficulty you face is actually an invitation? An invitation from God, from the universe, from life itself, to grow beyond where you are right now? What if difficulties are not punishments but promotions in disguise? What if the very challenge you're resisting is the gateway to your breakthrough? Listen carefully. A mindset that sees obstacles as opportunities is not born overnight. It's developed through intentional focus and understanding. It requires you to train your mind to look beyond the surface of the problem. This is what separates leaders from followers, victors from victims. Leaders don't just see the problem. They see the solution within the problem. They don't just see darkness. They see the light that can be sparked by the darkness. Remember, it was Joseph who was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. To many, those were obstacles too big to overcome. But Joseph saw those obstacles differently. He understood that God was using every hardship to prepare him for a greater purpose, to save nations. His mindset transformed his pain into power, his setback into setup for success. And because of that shift, his life changed forever. You can do the same thing in your life. You can choose to stop complaining about your problem and start asking, what is this teaching me? How can this make me better? When you begin to ask those questions, you begin to see opportunities where others see defeat. But here's the challenge. It's easy to say, change your mindset. But how do you actually do it? How do you train your mind to see opportunity in difficulty? First, you must recognize that your current mindset may be rooted in fear, doubt, or past pain. Those thoughts are natural, but they are not permanent. You have the power to reject those limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively about your obstacle, stop and remind yourself that this is temporary, that you are learning, and that you are growing through it. Second, you must surround yourself with people and teachings that reinforce this new mindset. Myles Munroe said it best. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mind. So feed your mind with hope, wisdom, and encouragement. Read books, listen to sermons, and engage with people who challenge you to see beyond your problems. Third, practice gratitude even in the middle of difficulty. Gratitude is a powerful spiritual discipline that shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. When you thank God or life for the lessons and the growth, you are aligning yourself with the opportunity instead of the obstacle. Fourth, remember that faith is the foundation of this mindset. Faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means believing that beyond the obstacle there is a greater purpose and a better future. Faith gives you the courage to keep moving even when you can't see the whole path. When you combine these steps, something miraculous happens. Your mind begins to look for the hidden opportunities in every challenge. You become a problem solver, a visionary, a person who transforms setbacks into setups. Instead of asking, why me? You start asking, what's next? I want to ask you today, what if the biggest obstacle in your life right now is actually your greatest opportunity waiting to be unlocked? What if the struggle is the preparation for your breakthrough? What if the problem you are facing is the very thing that will shape you into the leader you are meant to become? This shift in mindset will open doors you never knew existed. It will give you clarity in confusion, hope in despair, and strength in weakness. But it requires you to make a decision to no longer be a victim of your circumstances, but a victor who sees every difficulty as a doorway to something greater. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is a universal principle. So start today by asking yourself, how can I see this obstacle differently? What opportunity is hidden in this difficulty? How can this challenge shape my character, my faith, my future? Remember, it is not the obstacle that defines you. It is your mindset about the obstacle that defines your future. And once you master this mindset shift, you will begin to experience a new reality, where obstacles are no longer roadblocks, but opportunities to rise. I want to speak to your heart today about something very powerful: the purpose behind the problems you face. Many people go through life asking, why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? They see problems as random, meaningless, or worse, punishment. But I want to challenge you to see it differently. Every problem, every difficulty, every obstacle that comes into your life has a purpose. There is a reason it is there, and that reason is far greater than you may realize at the moment. Problems are not accidents or mistakes. They are part of a divine or natural design to shape you into who you are meant to be. Think about the great leaders in history. They did not become great by accident or by luck. They became great because the problems they faced forced them to grow, to learn, to develop new skills and new strength. Without the problem, there would have been no growth. Without the struggle, there would have been no breakthrough. I want you to understand these problems are like the crucible in which your character is forged. They are the refining fire that burns away the impurities, leaving you stronger and purer. When you face a problem, it is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter where you grow into your purpose. Let me give you an example. Consider the story of David in the Bible. Before he became king, David was a shepherd, and he faced many problems, from giants in the battlefield to rejection from his own family. But every problem had a purpose. It was preparing him for leadership over Israel. Those problems sharpened his courage, honed his faith, and developed his skills as a warrior and a leader. Without those problems, David would never have been ready for the responsibility God had for him. You and I have the same principle at work in our lives. The problems you face today are preparing you for the destiny that awaits you. They are designed to equip you with the wisdom, patience, and endurance you need to fulfill your purpose. Now, I know sometimes problems can feel overwhelming, and it's hard to see any purpose in them when you're in the middle of the storm. But it's exactly in those moments of struggle that you must hold on to this truth. There is a purpose behind the problem. The pain you feel, the setbacks you experience, are not just suffering for suffering's sake. They are part of your preparation. I want to encourage you to ask a new question when problems come your way. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this problem trying to teach me? What purpose is being served here? When you start to ask that question, your perspective shifts. You move from being a victim of circumstances to a student of life, learning the lessons that will shape your future. Purpose gives meaning to problems. It transforms pain into power. It changes your story from one of defeat to one of destiny. And when you live with that mindset, you begin to see problems not as obstacles to stop you, but as stepping stones to higher ground. Now listen carefully. Problems are also a way to discover your unique gifts and abilities. Sometimes it is through struggle that you uncover talents you never knew you had. When you are pushed beyond your comfort zone, you tap into resources within yourself that have been hidden or dormant. The problem forces you to innovate, to create, to rise to the occasion. And here is something else I want you to hear. The purpose behind your problem is not just for you. Often the problems you overcome become the foundation for you to help others. Your experience, your breakthrough, your victory becomes a testimony that inspires and empowers those who come after you. So when you face a problem, understand that it is not just about you. It is part of a bigger plan to prepare you to be a blessing, a leader, a source of hope for many others. Your problems are creating in you the character and compassion needed to lead, to teach, to serve. Think about a potter shaping clay. The potter doesn't just leave the clay as it is. They work it, press it, mold it. Sometimes that process is rough and uncomfortable, but the purpose is to create something beautiful and useful. You are that clay, and the problems of the potter's hands shaping you for your destiny. When you embrace the purpose behind your problems, you no longer waste time wishing things were different or blaming others. You focus on growth, on learning, on preparing yourself for the next season. You begin to trust that every challenge is part of a divine or natural plan that is working for your good. This mindset gives you peace in the midst of chaos. It gives you strength when you feel weak. It fills you with hope when all seems lost, because you know that every problem is working to make you what you were created to be. And I want you to hear this clearly. No problem in your life is without purpose. Nothing is random or accidental. Every challenge, every struggle, every difficulty is intentional, designed to bring out the best in you, to prepare you for a greater purpose than you can imagine. Now listen closely, because this is where many people stumble on their journey from obstacle to opportunity. It's not enough to just understand your problems or to see the purpose behind them. The next step, the critical step, is taking responsibility and action. This is the moment when your life changes, when your breakthrough begins. You see, responsibility is the foundation of leadership. No one becomes a leader by blaming others, complaining about circumstances, or waiting for someone else to fix their problems. Leadership starts with owning your situation. It starts with saying, this is my life. These are my challenges. And I am the one who will take control and move forward. Taking responsibility means no more excuses. It means no more pointing fingers. It means no more waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. Because the truth is, perfect conditions rarely come. Life will always have challenges. But if you wait for perfection, you will wait forever. Look at the successful people around you. They are not successful because their lives were perfect. They are successful because they refused to be stopped by their imperfections. They took responsibility for where they were, no matter how difficult, and then they took action to change their circumstances. Action is the language of faith. You can believe all you want, you can pray and hope, but without action, nothing changes. Faith without works is dead, as the scripture says. Your faith must be expressed through action, taking the steps, no matter how small, toward your goal. Now, let me be clear. Taking action doesn't mean rushing blindly into anything. It means taking deliberate, purposeful steps. It means planning and preparing, but also having the courage to move forward even when you don't have all the answers. Sometimes you have to step out in faith, trusting that the path will become clear as you walk it. When you take responsibility and action, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the master of your destiny. You shift from being passive to being active. This shift is what turns obstacles into opportunities, because you begin to control the narrative of your life. Let me ask you this. How many times have you been stuck because you were waiting for someone else to help you or for the situation to change on its own? How many times have you blamed external factors instead of looking in the mirror and saying, what can I do right now to move forward? That mindset will keep you stuck in place. But the moment you say, I am responsible for this, I am going to take action, you begin to move. you begin to create momentum. And momentum is a powerful force. Once you start moving, the obstacle loses its power over you. Taking responsibility also means learning from your mistakes and failures. It means being honest with yourself about what you could do better. Leaders don't shy away from accountability. They embrace it. They understand that failure is part of the process, not the end of it. They take responsibility for their failures, learn the lessons, and keep moving forward stronger than before. Another important aspect of responsibility is controlling your attitude. You may not control the circumstances, but you control how you respond. You control your attitude, your effort, your persistence. When you take full responsibility, you refuse to let a negative attitude sabotage your progress. Instead, you choose optimism, resilience, and determination. Remember, obstacles will come in many forms: financial struggles, broken relationships, health issues, or setbacks in your career. But none of these can stop you unless you allow them to, by refusing to take responsibility for your next move. Taking action also requires patience and perseverance. Sometimes progress is slow, and you may not see immediate results. But consistent effort, even small steps every day, builds momentum. It's like planting a seed and watering it daily. You don't see the tree immediately, but with faith and persistence, it grows. I want you to imagine a ship at sea. The captain can't control the waves or the wind, but he controls the direction the ship sails. Taking responsibility and action means you are the captain of your life. You may not control every circumstance, but you control the course you take through them. So, I challenge you today, don't wait for someone else to save you. Don't wait for the perfect timing or the perfect conditions. Take responsibility for your life right now. Identify the actions you can take today to move forward. It may be making a phone call, learning a new skill, changing your attitude, or simply taking one step in the direction of your dreams. When you combine responsibility with action, you unleash a powerful force that transforms obstacles into opportunities. Because action creates results, and results build confidence. And confidence propels you to higher levels of success and fulfillment. This is the moment to rise, to own your story, to take responsibility for your challenges and respond with decisive action. This is how leaders are made, how dreams are realized, and how obstacles become the foundation of opportunity. Now listen carefully, because persistence and faith are the final keys that unlock the door from obstacles to opportunities. It is not enough to see the obstacle. Shift your mindset, understand the purpose, and take responsibility. The journey doesn't end there. You must stay the course. You must press through when the path gets hard. You must hold on when everything inside you is telling you to give up. Persistence is not just stubbornness. Persistence is purposeful endurance. It is the refusal to quit, the commitment to keep moving forward despite delays, difficulties, or discouragements. Many people fail not because they lack ability or vision, but because they quit too soon. They give up right before their breakthrough. But you cannot allow that to be your story. Faith is what fuels persistence. Faith is believing in something you cannot yet see. Faith is holding on to hope when the circumstances look hopeless. Faith says, I don't know how it will happen, but I trust that it will. Faith says, I am not defined by my current obstacle, but by the promise of my future. Without faith, persistence becomes just a tiring grind. But with faith, persistence becomes a powerful force that carries you through. Think about the story of the widow in the Bible who kept coming to the unjust judge asking for justice. She was persistent, relentless, and she refused to be silent. Her faith in justice kept her coming back again and again, even when it seemed like nothing was changing. Because of her persistence and faith, she eventually won her case. That story teaches us that persistence and faith together move the heart of God and the circumstances of life. I want you to realize this. Obstacles will try to wear you down. They will test your resolve. There will be moments when you feel exhausted, discouraged, and ready to quit. But those are the moments when persistence and faith must rise up stronger inside of you. That is the moment that defines your destiny. Persistence requires discipline. It requires you to keep showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It means working hard, learning from failures, and continuing to believe in your vision. Success is not about luck. It's about consistent effort sustained over time. The great achievers of the world did not succeed overnight. They persisted through setbacks, rejection, and failure. Faith, on the other hand, is the unseen anchor that keeps your spirit steady. It is what gives you peace in the storm. When you face uncertainty, faith tells you that there is a purpose behind your struggle, that you are not alone, and that your breakthrough is on the way. Faith reminds you that God or the universe or life itself is working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. I want you to ask yourself, what is the dream or goal you have been hesitant to pursue because the obstacle seems too big? What vision has been buried under fear or doubt? I want you to know that with persistence and faith, you can resurrect that dream. You can rise above the obstacles that have held you back. Now, I'm not saying it will be easy. In fact, persistence means you will face pain and disappointment. It means you may have to try again and again, learning each time and improving your approach. But I guarantee you this, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Every time you refuse to give up, you grow stronger. You must understand the power of incremental progress. It's the small daily victories that build momentum. Don't underestimate the power of persistence in taking small steps toward your goal every single day. Over time, those small steps lead to giant leaps. I want to remind you that faith without works is dead, but works without faith are empty. You need both. You need faith to believe, and you need persistence to act. When you combine these two forces, you create an unstoppable momentum. Also, surround yourself with people who encourage your persistence and strengthen your faith. Community is a key part of perseverance. When you share your journey with others who believe in you, it fuels your determination. Isolation breeds doubt, but connection breeds hope. I want to challenge you today. Don't let the obstacles steal your vision. Don't let discouragement silence your dreams. Hold on with persistence. Believe with faith. Keep moving forward, even when the path seems long and the progress seems slow. Remember, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is often just persistence and faith. Those who keep going, who keep believing, who refuse to quit, are the ones who turn obstacles into opportunities. When you combine persistence with faith, you tap into a power greater than any obstacle. It's a power that fuels breakthroughs, that births miracles, and that transforms your life. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to hold on to one undeniable truth. Your obstacles are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your breakthrough. Every difficulty you face carries within it the seed of opportunity, waiting for you to nurture it with the right mindset, the right purpose, and the right action. Remember, the journey from obstacle to opportunity starts with a shift in how you see your challenges. When you embrace responsibility, take deliberate steps forward, and fuel your journey with persistence and faith, you transform your life from one of struggle into one of triumph. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. The power to rise above every trial is already inside you. It is waiting for you to awaken it, to step into your purpose, and to walk boldly toward the future God, the universe, or life itself has prepared for you. So today, I challenge you, stop running from your obstacles. Instead, run to them with courage. Look for the opportunity in every difficulty. Own your story, take action, and never give up. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. And it begins the moment you decide to turn your obstacles into opportunities.